Welcome back to War Thunder, welcome back to ships again, and today is just a talk through, I guess, and I play here the S-100. In the first battle and later on in the second battle, the Soviet destroyer Project 7Y, I guess it's called. And I did not really feature both ships in a long time, and I have to say one of the reasons is because I wanted to bring a bit more variety to well, what I show in terms of pre-beta test, and it's I have to say it's gone a bit repetitive, it's gone a bit boring, and I have no idea what Gaijin is doing. So we saw no significant changes, no significant new stuff for a year in pre-beta. So I am now going a bit impatient. Now you would say, okay, let them have their time. We want good stuff. But in fact they have made it worse. They have thrown out working systems that I guess nobody was really complaining about for something that sometimes works, I guess. And the S-100 is a good example of a ship that looks very good on paper, but in fact is not that good. I have played ships quite some time. I've played throughout all the nations. I've played, well, destroyers, patrol boats on various different maps with various different techniques, and I have to say it's especially here, look at this. I aim for the rear turret, it's black, and he's still firing at me. I'm then also aiming for all the compartments. Now you heard that bling, and that indicates normally that you have destroyed the enemy. You can see here in the hit cam, 0% crew. He's still shooting at me, he's damaging me in return, and I can't knock him out. I have no idea what I am missing. Superstructure, there are still crew visible. I have no idea. I hammer him with everything that I've got, literally. The 30mm is on the heat cooldown, the 20mm are reloading, and now he shoots me with rockets. And I'm receiving some big nasty hits, putting my crew down, damaging the entirety of my ship. Just the rear section is not damaged yet. And look at this, even now he still can launch his torpedoes. Just a moment, there it is. And if I would not have dodged them, I'd be dead by a ship, because a torpedo hit is a certain thing, I guess. In most cases, I'd be dead by a dead ship. And, you know, not from torpedoes that he launched before his destruction, but after his official destruction by this bling. So I have no idea what I'm doing wrong. There is no feedback. All the feedback is wrong. The system that previously has proven to work properly now is RNG. I mean, this is less reliable than playing a German battleship in World of Warships or shooting at the broadside cruiser. Everybody that has a Bismarck knows what I'm talking about. This is even more RNG. This is just shoot at something and hope that it works. Maybe. Hope that you get a hit with a torpedo. And then the 30mm in the front is good. It is good, but it has restricted firing angles. One big benefit is that it's very well protected. It's pretty darn hard to knock that out, but then it has a cooldown that it overheats and so forth. And when it overheats, the cooldown then to kind of, yeah, how to say it, to get it back to working conditions takes ages. The 20mm are a special case. The autogunners are not very consistent with their shooting. They're just shooting single shots and then that's it, where they do not a lot of damage. Again, I try to do something. I switch actually target, and it's very easy to cripple somebody, but to knock him out is a problem. The 20mm, the firing time, especially for the rear quadruple 20mm, which should be a devastating weapon, is devastating for a very short time. In most cases, you have not even found your perfect range, and then it has to reload. And the reload feels like being 3 times as long as the actual firing time. I reversed into a rock, and by that I killed myself. I have so much fun, Gaijin. I have literally no words what to say positive about it. Yeah, sure, it sounds good, it looks good, and from time to time you have some funny moments, but what should I do here? And the greater aspect is I don't get anything for it. I don't get any silver lines, I can't grind anything, I get probably nothing except Gaijin's gratitude for screwing around a little bit with ships. That's all that I can see, so I mean, I guess for you guys it's not even fun to watch. I know that especially my ship videos are not the most popular compared to other stuff on my channel, but then again, I've promised to cover this. I've promised to give my honest feedback. My feedback is here. I've given solutions. Nobody has listened to them. By the way, how should I range find a plane? Can you tell me? Yes, there is the option with the 20mm gunners to then go to automatic fire, which then works really nicely. But to range find your 30mm at a target that is right in front of me is, you know, for capital ships or for destroyers for long range shooting, that makes sense, but not in close quarters, not when it's like in front of me. Here I drop some water bombs, his torpedoes could not arm in time, and I eventually take him out with a good smack from below. That was actually pretty fun. Then there is another one, and he actually connects a torpedo, but he connects it just to a portion that was already damaged. I dropped the water bomb, but it just clipped him not very hard. And there you can see the 30mm is now on a cooldown for quite some time. I switched to the 20mm, and the reload for the 20mm for the quadruple in the back is so long. The dual 20mm in the middle of the ship with such a restricted firing arc is more valuable because I can actually shoot at the enemy faster than with the quadruple. Here I'm going very clicky through dismantling the enemy ship, but then I have switched back to the 20mm. I have no option to combine the firepower, and again I heard the pling. That is normally the sign that I've killed this guy. I actually killed the guy in the rear faster than this guy, and he's still shooting me. He's still shooting me. And especially the crew survivability on top of the ship is just insane. Like, you think you can mow them down? No way. Eventually, I'm burning all the time. I have the symbol on the left bottom corner, and now you hear it actually, the fire alarm, but I can't extinguish the fire. I'm hammering the key for it, but I can't. I just can't. So it's gotten worse. This system has actually worked before, and now they made it worse for no apparent reason. I have also no explanation why this guy was actually not shooting me. So, and again, you heard that pling, and then the kill message came with such a delay. Now this time it was actually pretty okay. I destroyed all sections. By the way, the S-100 is very fragile compared to all the other boats. Especially the Russian ones is surprisingly durable. It's not insanely durable, but it's surprisingly durable. You think it's a little ship, it has such open exposed gunners, but they are protected by the gun shields so nicely. Here again you can see I can't even shoot at that aircraft properly. Now it has rangefinded. I get a hit, but it's just a hit, so very encouraging. And I'm holding down the trigger, and you hear this delay, this the gun is not even shooting properly because it's not connected directly to the range that I'm shooting. It's really weird. It has worked so much. I don't have the option for manual firing with the primary weapon. Especially the American boat is very disappointing in this respect, and when there is a destroyer in that area you have no chance. So here we are then, as promised, on board the Russian Project 7Y. Hope this is correct. And it has 4 130mm guns. They have a slow reload, they have a slow rate of fire therefore, and you don't have a lot of ammunition, and you just have 4 turrets with 1 gun each. So other ships in terms of volume of fire are so much better. For example, the British ship bow on, as long as you don't get ammo, it's fantastic. But this ship, yeah. However, it has surprisingly good anti-aircraft. And I've set my gunners to shoot at everything, and they literally shoot at everything. You can toggle your gunners with ease, so in this case I've chosen to let them shoot at aircraft and ships. And as I mentioned, it's still an early warning system. So you toggle E 3 times, then you let your gunners shoot at everything, and then they also shoot at enemies that are behind islands. So they shoot at the island, and you know, behind that island there is somebody. You can prepare for them. You can dodge torpedoes, you can decide to not go around the island. Here I actually want to shoot at this guy's Amorak. Frontal Amorak sniping is a hobby of mine. It's efficient. The enemy doesn't have the long time to shoot back. It's not like enduring tripling fight, and just like that. This is something that I love. But when you encounter somebody that is doing that to you, oh boy, that that is devastating. So yeah, I mean, the visuals are there. I mean, the palm trees, the islands, the sunset, the sunrise, the visuals, to a certain degree the sound effect, although it's very annoying that, especially when you're in an aircraft, you hear all the shell impacts and all the shell firing across the entirety of the map with the same volume. Still, there are a lot of bugs, but I mean, I've promised to do ship testing and give my feedback. I promised it in a video to my subscribers. I mean, there is still a portion of you that is interested in that. And now you can see how this destroyer is leaning over. He cannot shoot me with his main batteries. And now the Amorak is so deep in the water that I cannot really engage him. And I would sink him with a torpedo because he is dead in the water. But there is another destroyer, and I'm just aiming down, but again it's this manual adjustment and constant adjustment, and eventually I blow him up. Really nice, deeply satisfying. And here I switch between the torpedo launchers. This one is destroyed or out of action. Switch to the other one and launch a single torpedo, and then move on. And yeah, this is how I do my stuff. The torpedo will reach the target. I got a few hits on this, well, aircraft. I could manually take him down, but you know. And now we have a big issue. And this is not joking, I accidentally slipped into the spawn zone of the enemy's patrol boats. I want to get out, but you know, the ship is so clumsy, the ship is so unmaneuverable, I cannot really go out quickly. I need to turn around. There is a second destroyer, I can shoot him from an unexpected direction. For a second I thought I would have blown him up with the first salvo there, because it actually went very close to where I wanted. And then we still have to talk about the damage model, which is weird. Okay, when I shoot with a destroyer gun that is APHE into another destroyer, it behaves not like you would expect on a tank, like it gets activated and then explodes inside of the guts of the enemy ship. No, 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 no. It behaves like a solid shot. This is why I do not recommend bow tanking, because if somebody hits your bow, the shell goes through the entirety of the ship. And that is highly dangerous. So giving broadside and changing your course constantly is so much safer than you might expect. So it's counterintuitive compared to World of Warships. Although with the destroyer mechanics it's a bit different. So bow tanking would then lead to the penetration damage like But that's a different topic, I guess. Most of you are not interested in World of Warships. By the way, I cannot really destroy this guy because the smoke from my own smokestacks is actually obscuring the vision to this guy. So I have to follow the tracers, and he can bow tank the HE shells. Funny enough, if I would have loaded an AP HE shell, the shells would have gone through and being ignited, detonating in the middle of the ship. Now I hit the rear of the ship and actually knocked him out by doing that. Now my gunners are shooting there and we see a low-flying aircraft. I switch to my anti-aircraft batteries and shooting manually, eventually getting the hits and actually knocking the aircraft out of the sky roundabout now. And that was just before he could release the torpedo, or before he released the torpedo. And so now I'm going back with my attention to the patrol boats. And a destroyer in this situation is just unbeatable. There is no way that the patrol boats have any sort of chance. They get spawn camped hard. I did not do this intentionally. Please believe me that. But it's an issue on this map. This is why I do not really like this map design. The other map design was in this respect equal. But here the blue team, in this case the northeast team, has just such an advantage. It's just so much better. So here eventually I would ground and then I have to eventually reverse. For a moment I thought I could just push through, but that was not the case. So as you can see now, it's boring, it's dull, it's repetitive, it's either unfair to you or unfair for the enemy. Balance is an issue, map design is an issue, the graphics are not a problem. But there are so many bugs, AI control, controllability of your own weapon system. It's way too complex, even though I have set it up in a way that I think I now get used to it. But it's just, I have no idea what I'm testing here. That's the issue. I have no idea what the purpose of my testing is. You have heard me now rambling, and honestly, something has to change. And it has not gone better. For the patrol boats in particular, it has gone downhills. And it's not just because of the destroyers. It's a shame, because I think ships have a huge potential. Ships are there to give more variety to the gameplay. And please not add more frustration. I mean, that was a lucky shot, nevertheless. I practically one-shotted him, and he had no chance because there was a landmass in the way to protect me from his torpedoes. And I even can dodge torpedoes at a certain range. Wow, it's just discouraging, is it? So I'm just letting the battle ram through right now, and the aircraft are still there. By the way, how should I ever shoot down aircraft with the main batteries? I now have asked this for the third time, so it's sometimes better to let the AI gunners try their luck. It's I mean, Gaijin could get this response from me within an hour. They don't need a mass test to do that. And I know that there are people at Gaijin probably that still are very enthusiastic about it. But what comes out of Gaijin headquarters onto the test server, or the, well, this event, which it is practically, it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't encourage me in my belief that ships are still a thing to believe in. I for myself think it's again wasted potential. I have no idea how I killed that aircraft, but some of my gunners just drank enough vodka, I guess. I mean, once you control, for example, A and B, I guess, or the northern and the middle capture zone, the southern one on the open is just, yeah, let the enemy team have it. I need just those two, and you can control both of them with a single bloody destroyer against patrol boats, especially with the Fletcher. I mean, this destroyer here, the Project 7, is not even the very best in this respect. There are far better destroyers than this. So my final verdict for ships so far, I'm kind of disappointed, really. They have made it worse. I saw no improvement. And that's actually the end of my commentary. By the way, if I can't take him out with the secondary batteries of my destroyer, which are aiming all over the place for some bizarre reason, because then the aim is off again, and now I kill him for the second time, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm killing stuff, it feels okay-ish, but not very encouraging. That's it for me today, so thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this test, and give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves of War Thunder.